Okay, I'm going to show you now how you add a new user in FileDirector. So the first thing we need to do is remind ourselves how we install the software. If you go to your server name, your FileDirector server name, /FileDirector, then you should get this page up here. The bare minimum you want to install for each client is the Win client and the component service. If you're going to be scanning, I would also suggest you install the OCR engine if you've got that license to do barcodes or zonal, and the Enterprise Manager. That will enable you to set up the scanner on the scanning PC as well. But as I say, for a bare minimum client, you want the Win client and the component service, which puts the icons into the Office programs like Excel and Word, and also allows you to view different types of documents like PDF. So installing the programs is really simple. You just click on the word install, and it will either run with Internet Explorer, or it will just drop a setup.exe folder onto your computer. If you find that and run it, you should then find that the application is downloaded, and then you're prompted with the usual installation file. Enable you to install the software on the respective PC. The next thing that needs to happen is that the user of that PC needs to be authorized to use the software. Now typically you would log on to your server using a remote desktop connection like this, and depending on how you've got your server set up, you're either going to be using Active Directory or you're going to be using local users. So if I show you what I'm talking about here, if we go on to if you're using Active Directory, you're going to start all programs, administrative tools, and you'll find Active Directory, users and computers. On this server I'm using here, I don't use Active Directory, so I'll just show you the user groups and how they work. On the groups section here, we've got some users groups. We've got FD admins, that's a FileDirector administrator. We've got FD scan, which is a scanning user, and then we've got FD user, which is the standard FileDirector user. Now, to be a member, or to access FileDirector, your user needs to be a member of one of these groups. You can have groups belonging to the FD user group, but the user needs to be a member of one of these groups. So if we were to double click into the FD user group, we haven't got any in here. If I go into FD admins, I've got the administrator set up to use it. But when you go into one of these groups here, you should have a list of people who are able to, who you should see, who are members of FileDirector. If I wanted to add a user, type in their name. So if I go advanced and find now, I might want to make George a member of FileDirector. Click OK and OK that again, and he's now a member of the FD user group. If we then go back to our computer and launch the Enterprise Manager, one of the sections we have when we log in at the top for an administrator is the users and groups. Now from here, we need to be seeing our users and what groups they belong to. Now if you'll notice, we just made George a member of the FD user group, and he hasn't appeared yet. So this is a scheduled task that runs every 30 minutes. If I go right click and start scheduler, and then go import OS accounts, we should see George appear. And there he is. George has just appeared down here, so he's now a user. The next thing you need to do for a user is to make sure, once they're members of the relevant groups up here, so if we go into double click on George, we can see that he is a member of FD user, very important. The next thing we want to do is make sure that he's a member of the respective cabinet. So if we right click on a cabinet and go security, at the moment I've only got FD admins as members of this cabinet, so I need to change that and add in FD user as well. So if I go to File Kuano FD user, click OK to that. If I give them full access to everything, now when I go back into security, I can see that FD user is a member, and now I just need to give him full access. to everything. Okay. Okay, so that's it. It's really important. Recapping. You need to make sure that